Hello and welcome to this video where we'll use Terraform to create resources in Azure. So it's an IAC, infrastructure as code, to create resources in Azure, and then we will containerize a Taipy application and send it up to a container registry in Azure and then connect it to Azure Web Apps so that we deploy it. By using Terraform, we'll be able to save down our infrastructure code, which you can version control. And also it's very neat to just create the infrastructure and destroy it if you don't want it anymore. Let's move on to your code now. So this is the Taipy app, which you have seen before in the last lecture, where we have containerized it and deployed it to Azure Web Apps. But we did it manually. We created all the resources manually, but now we will use Terraform to do it. However, let's just check this out so that we can see that it works. So we have Docker image ls. So these are the Docker images. So what we did last time was this docker run-p 8080 8080, and then I run this one. Oh, unable to build it. Let's see. Docker run. Repository does not exist. All right, deploy like this. So let's see. Here is the Taipy app, and this is the Taipy app which I've used in a few lectures now. So let's create the resources, Azure Container Registry and Azure Web Apps using Terraform. So this assumes that you have already set up Terraform. If you haven't, I have videos on that which you can look at to set up Terraform and connect it with Azure. And now let me first go into Docker, and I will say IAC because I don't want to send up my infrastructure as code. So I'll create this folder, and inside this folder, I will start with env-variable.sh. I use this one to export. I will show you what I export. So I want to export this ARM subscription ID, and the subscription ID is my Azure subscription ID. So I will fill that in. So I have this env variable. So let's go into cd IAC. And here I will do source env variable sh. So this means that I get this variable. And I have logged into Terraform. So now I'll just create different things for Terraform. So starting with the providers.tf. And here we have Terraform. And the required providers is Azure RM equals to source, HashiCorp Azure RM. And this you can find through the documentation and copy it there. Actually, I have done that. So what I do is a pessimistic operator here, 4.3. And then required version is... So this is just some requirements that which type of versions we should have. And then provider is Azure RM. And then we have features like this. So what I can do now is Terraform. I want to do a backend. Backend.tf. And this I will just copy in as this is not interesting for you right now. So I will have another video to explain this as well. But basically what it does is that we store something called the tf state file inside of Azure tf state. So it's a storage account, which I have created a storage account before. So this is how it looks like. I have a resource groups tf states. And inside of this one, I have this tf states. I have this tf states course. And inside of this, I have put in I've created this storage account. And then I have several containers. And here is the tf state Python deploy. And that is what I'm referencing here, basically. And what it does is that it will create this tf states where there's a lot of secrets and managing the infrastructure. So I don't want to have it locally. It's better to have it in the backend. So it's better to have it in Azure. Okay, and I will place it there. So this is what this file does and nothing else. So if I do Terraform init, and it will initialize this backend. And what it does, as you can see here, it creates a .terraform folder. And inside this one, there's a TF state. However, if you look at this, a lot of things are null here. And the reason is that these are in this TF state Python deploy. So inside my TF state Python deploy, the blob, it's over there inside of Azure. So I have backend and I have providers. So let's create some more TF files. And I need to have main.tf. So these are manifests, right? We will use this to create the resources that we want. So I'll start with a variable, prefix, let's see, app and name, and description, basically app name used before each resource name. And the default should be YH dashboard. Okay, so basically YH means yrkeshögskola in Swedish, which is higher vocational education, which this dashboard is based on. So we'll create a resource now, and I will create Azure RM resource group. So first you need a resource group in order to group all the resources. So I will call this, let's see, what should I call this? I can call it like this. I will use this variable dot, or actually not, it should be, for example, YH dashboard RG, and name equals to, let's see, var dot prefix app name dash RG, and then it requires a location as well. So location equals Sweden Central, like this. We need to have an Azure Container Registry, right? So Azure RM, let's see, Container Registry right here. And what it needs is, I will call it ACR, and then the name. So there's a different, the name you use here is the local name for the variable name in Terraform, and which we can reference back. However, this name is the one that shows in Azure Portal. So here, let's call this ACR. We need to have a unique name, and for Azure Container Registry, it's very special that you cannot have special characters. So we'll have random numbers, and to do that, we will do random.tf, and inside of my random.tf, let's do resource random integer. So this is a resource from Terraform, number and min basically 10,000, max is 999, like this. Okay. So what I do now is name, and then I interpolate the number basically. So I will take this random integer dot number dot results. Okay. And then resource group name, because you need to place it somewhere, and Azure RM H dashboard resource group, perfect, dot name. And then we do location. We take it from Azure, from this resource group as well. Dot location. And this is because if you change the location from the resource group, then all other resources that depends on it will change as well. Okay, what do we need more? We need SKU. It's which plan you want. If you want the basic, premium, or standard, we'll go with basic, the cheapest one. Admin enabled is true. Let's see, true. Okay, like this. And I do Shift Alt F to auto format this. And now it's time for the ASP, Azure RS. This is needed for Azure Web Apps, right? So this is where you define the underlying infrastructure, which OS to use, etc., and which size of the VM. So ASP, I call it, and name is equal to var dot prefix app name dash ASP, and then resource group name. We'll use the same as these two, actually copy these two and place it down here. So what else do you require? OS type is Linux, and then we need to have SKU name as well. Let's see, we take a standard, so S1 is standard size. And now when we have this, it's time for our Azure RM, let's see, Linux web app like this. And I'll call this app. And what do we need from that one? I need these two as well. So I'll place this down here. We need site config, and we do need something else. We need the name, of course. Let's see, name should be var.prefix app name. Let's see, dash app. Okay, let's see, we have a location, we need service plan ID, and here we take the one from ASP, because then we'll get we need the service plan, right? Then ASP is our service plan, so we connect them together, so which we know which one to use, and then site config. And here we need to have an application stack. So which application stack are we using for this web app? And basically we use a Docker image, right? So Docker image name, and here we interpolate here for Azure Container Registry .acr.login server. So here we take the ACR, which we have here, and we take its login server. And as you know from last video, we went into the ACR and we picked out the login server, right? And the same we do here. And inside the login server, we go into the tag, right? So the tag is variable.prefix app name, because the prefix app name is YH-dashboard, and this is what I will use. And I will use :latest. So this is the version that I've chosen. Or actually, I haven't done that yet, but I will do that. And then Docker registry URL is basically like this: HTTPS : like this, and basically we have this thing again here. So this is the URL. Okay, as simple as that. Simple and simple. Let's do also... Actually, I'm quite satisfied here, I think. So let's try to run this one. So Terraform validate to check that the code is okay. And oh, I haven't done Terraform init. Okay, Terraform init. Or haven't done it before. Maybe I need to do it again. Terraform validate. It looks okay. Terraform plan to see what will be created. Okay. So 5 to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. Good. Then since the plan works, we can do Terraform apply -auto approve. So now we will create the resources in Azure. So I'll pause the video and then I will head over to Azure. Okay, and now this is done. So let's take a look at my Azure. And inside of Azure, I have this YH dashboard RG. So this is the resource group. And as you've seen, thanks to the variable, we get this prefix everywhere. This is very good, except for this one, which we had a random number, right? And this is the one we'll look into. Container registry, and basically we'll go into access keys. And these are the things that we need. So basically I'll copy this login server. And let's move back to my Docker here. Let's see, Docker login, copy this one, and then username is this one here. And then I will go in here and look for my password, and no worries, I will delete this, and you cannot take all anyway. There's a lot of dot there. Oh, maybe you saw it now, unfortunately. However, I will just remove this anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then enter. And yes, I'm logged in. Good. So now, as you've seen in the last video, I used Docker build X as I'm in Mac M3. So I will create ARM-based container images. However, the one in Azure web app is using Linux AMD64. So I need to create for that one. So what I do now is basically Docker build X build --platform Linux /AMD64 -p, and then I will need to take this one here. And then let's see, /dashboard. Let me see that I need to have exactly the same as I picked here. Here it is, login variable dot prefix name colon latest YH dashboard, and then dash dash push, and then dot to get everything in this folder. However, this won't work since I'm in the wrong folder. So I'll just do it and make sure it doesn't work because I'm in the wrong folder. I don't have the Docker file. So I need to cd up one bit, and then here I will do this. Now it should work, I think. Yes. So I will pause and let this run and finish, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back and it seems to have worked. It's pushed up, and let's see here. Let's go into repositories, and you can see YH dashboard. Okay, good. And now we'll go into our web app. And basically the web app, you need to go into deployment center, not configuration. Yeah, it's a little bit slow. Deployment center, yes. Okay, good. What you need to do is basically here, just pick YH dashboard and latest. And then you save this one. And after you saved it, you go into overview and you click here, and it will take a while first. So I'll pause this video or let me actually go back. Let me close this one. Let's go here. We can restart this one. Restart it. And then wait for a while. So I'll wait and then click here afterwards. So after waiting a few minutes, probably 5 minutes or so, it's live. So we can click here and you can see, yes, it works. And here is the dashboard and you can filter as you want. Yeah, exactly. It works. Good. Now let's run Terraform. Let's go into cd IAC and let's run Terraform destroy so that it destroys all the resources. And now our app won't work anymore, but we have deployed it and showed that it worked. Now you've seen me work in deploying all the resources with Terraform infrastructure as code, and then using Docker, we push up the image to ACR, Azure Container Registry, and in web app, we connected them together. And then after a while, it worked, and voila, your app is readily available for your friends and families to enjoy. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye.